Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Devasa here, back with another video. Today we have dream logs. I think this is number 6, if I am not mistaken. You are mistaken. It is number 7. 6, 7. Alright. I haven't done one of these in a while, but I have 3 dreams that I've had recently that I think are pretty interesting, pretty cool, pretty funny, and one of them has a bit of a sad turn in them. But let's get started with the first one. So in this dream, I was running late for class. For some reason, I had this idea of parking my car on campus, walking all the way back to where I live to eat, and then having to rush back to campus again for the class instead of just, I don't know, eating then driving there. So you can already tell this is pretty stupid. But on my way there, I was running through some people's backyards because it was kind of in a rural area. And I came across these other people who were like, oh yeah, I'm going to class too. And turns out they had started to want to rob one of the houses we were, walking past. And so the lady kind of walks out and she starts throwing forks at us, off her porch. It was so weird. I had to hide underneath the stairs for a second, and then she came down, and I sprinted out, luckily. And then those 2 guys were gone. They were just completely gone. So I just kept walking through the backyards and the fields until I got into a little bit of a more urban area where I met, near some porta potties, Tyler, the Creator of all people. I mean, maybe you'd find him there. I don't know. But he offered to give me a ride in his whip, if you will, for no cost. So he drove me there and we were chilling, and he parked in this hotel within the city near the campus that I was trying to go to. Because the way that this hotel worked is you pull your car in and then there's car elevators to bring you underneath. It was really sick, but he dropped me off there and I got out. And as soon as I walked out towards campus, I had to just cross the street, but there was road construction work on the road being done. Literally, you can look left, look right, all the way down. So I had to run and try and find a way around it, and I had to walk through another parking garage that had a similar function where it was an elevator. And then I finally got around to one of the corners of the campus territory, and then I woke up. But I thought it was just so weird how the lady was throwing forks at me, and Tyler, the Creator, being there of all people. He had some, gold accessories in his teeth. I think his car that he was driving was green. No, he was wearing a sweater that was knitted, that was a dark blue and dark green, but kind of not necessarily leopard print, more of just randomly mist looking haze pattern, if that makes sense. But I thought that was pretty cool. The second dream I had, let's see here. Oh, it even says what he was wearing. He was wearing an undershirt and a low V-neck with some TV static pattern of blue and green. So there's that for you. Let's see, what are my other notes here? This other dream that I had was taking place in an airport, and I met one of my friends from college there. It turns out he was working with a secret service of some kind. And so I was just, around him when he was talking to some coworkers about something. And obviously there were some bad people in the area that thought I was associated with this service. And so when I was walking through the airport, I noticed this bookshelf, and it was full of JoJo manga, and I was like, oh, that's sick, that's so cool, let me go see if there's any new Steel Ball Run manga that I can get. And so I had to get a ladder because it was super high up, but I went to go reach some, and then somebody, some weirdo, was trying to tip the bookshelf towards me to try and make me go kaputs. But luckily, I let go real quick, landed on my feet, and a couple books fell out. And I was like, bro, what the heck are you doing, man? And he was just like, oh, So I had to start picking up the books, and I had to try and organize them, put them back into the bookshelf. But that was about all I remember. I walked back to my friend, and then I just woke up. So that was a very interesting dream. This last dream, though, was pretty heartbreaking in my opinion, to say the least. I say in my opinion, and then to say the least, like if they're two different things, but they're kind of the same transition. But what had happened was I went into this shiplapped room with, it was just like actual wood, like handcraft wood, like shiplapped, super tall, kind of an A-frame kind of room. But when you walk in to the right, there's like saloon doors to like another room off to the side. But in the middle of this shiplap room, there was a bed. And it turns out when I walked in and sat on the bed, there was someone who I have mentioned quite a bit in some of these past entries. Not these past entries, but a long time ago. I think I named her Brittany, if I'm not mistaken. Or Brit, I don't know. But Brittany, let's just say Brittany. Brittany was standing or sitting there on the bed with me, and I was talking to her, and this was again someone in real life which I've told them that I loved, and I was like, oh, why are you here? She's like, oh, I just wanted to see you, and I was like, but you have a boyfriend? He's like, yeah, but he's, whatever, insert whatever excuse, or she's thinking about breaking up with him, something like that. And, she was like, oh, I want to be with you. And I was like, oh, okay. So, I just kind of like lay on the bed, and then she, gets on top of me, and I was like, yo, I'm not going to do this until you officially are like broken up with your boyfriend. And then she kind of like, rolled off to the side. And then I really took a look at her face, and I realized she had a lot of acne down here. I don't know why, but I pointed it out. I was like, what happened? When did you get, it seems like you have a lot of acne right now. And, she kind of just brushed it off. And from there I woke up, and I sat there, and I was very somber, to say the least, because I never thought in a dream, I never thought a dream would like make me sad, just plainly due to the fact that it brought back someone that I have had memories with, that I have said, I love them, and then for it to pull the plug and be like, oh, it's time to wake up, and then reality strikes, and you're like, shit, man, that would have been cool. Especially because obviously in these past couple of entries I've talked about, being lonely and feel like I'm missing something. It was definitely like a dream that comforted me for the time, but as soon as reality snapped back in, I just felt so sad and dead inside, to say the least. That's my new catchphrase, I guess, to say the least. Or maybe, I don't know. Or, I don't know. Again, back to the previous video with confidence and whatnot. I'm just always unsure because I feel like I guess I just never get an answer out of people sometimes. But maybe I'm asking the wrong questions. Maybe I need to think about what questions I'm asking myself. Who knows? Either way, that's going to end dream log number 6. I want to say, I can't remember what number it is, but we're going to say 6. And if it's 7, 6, 7. All right. I'll see you guys later. Peace.